Here's what we're scaring up today on Daily Blast Live.
We're going all in on Halloween with the DBL hosts in full costume, all inspired by major moments in pop culture this year. The big reveal is just seconds away. Then we've got an inside look at Buffalo Bill's house from Silence of the Lambs. The guy who owns it now tells us how he transformed it into a bone-chilling tourism spot. And Mistress of the Dark, Elvira, will also be here live.
Welcome to DBL's special Halloween episode. I'm Stephanie Jones, DBL's resident Brit, and today I'm one classy witch, and I'm here to announce some very special hosts. Now, you know them all from major moments in pop culture in 2022. So first up, he's an SNL alum, a serial dater of some very famous women, and he has a big reputation, if you know what I mean. Give it up for Pete Davidson. From the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to a major movie star, and now he's riding the cancellation wave after that unforgettable slap at the Oscars. And don't forget to keep his wife's name out of your mouth. Hello, Will Smith.
Guys, the key word is forgiveness.
Our next special guest host is out of this world and recently made her final voyage to the great beyond. Her girl power was strong enough to take charge on the USS Enterprise in the Star Trek universe. Let's beam up Lieutenant Uhura Nichelle Nichols.
I boldly went where no other black woman had gone before.
Yeah! Next, she's a stand-up comedian who recently ended her long talk show run, and she's no stranger to behind-the-scenes drama, but she seems to just be dancing through it all. Welcome, Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah!
I ripped my jacket. Anyways.
Up next, she had one of the biggest albums of the year and is working it in her Renaissance era. So Beehive, get excited because Beyonce is in the building.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm one of one.
And finally, he was America's doctor during the pandemic. But he's controversial to some, and after decades of protecting Americans from the scariest of diseases, he's about to retire. But before he does, he's stopping by DBL. Dr. Anthony Fauci, come on out.
All right. Don't ask. Just get the vax. Yeah.
All right, Pete. Pete, I need to know, everyone's been talking about you all year long, so please share the details about the love spells you've been casting all the ladies, because you seem to be quite the catch.
I could show you later, Stephanie.
Will, you're working to get on everyone's good side again, so why do you, after that slap, deserve a comeback?
Well, you know, I just got back from India and I realized that once you find true forgiveness, one can find inner jigginess.
Lieutenant Uhura, you played by Nichelle Rickles and had a groundbreaking career in one of the most successful sci-fi franchises of all time. You are such an inspiration for little girls, so what words of advice do you have for them who want to go on and do big things?
See, young ladies, in our century, we learned not to fear words.
Beautiful. And Ellen, well, you've had a pretty tough ending to your long-running daytime talk show, so what have you got to say to all of your haters?
Be kind to one another. I missed it. That didn't work.
Beyonce, you've had some mega flack this year from a lot of artists saying that you've been sampling their music without their permission, so what's up with that?
I'm Beyonce. Tell Khalees to go away.
Dr. Fauci, what about you? People are grateful for everything you've done for this country, but how do you respond to Republicans who are calling you overexposed?
Overexposed? I'd rather be overexposed than overexposed to COVID. Am I right? Fauci! Fauci! Oh, you're looking out of this world.
I would suggest you keep your spark to yourself.
I have a question. Dr. Fauci, is there a cure for forgiveness?
Yeah. There's always a cure. It just takes a Fauci to find one. Am I right? We'll talk. We'll talk. Stephanie, are you single?
Darling, no. As Beyonce says, he likes to put a ring on it. We've got more coming up on this very special episode of Halloween here at DBL. We're going to get a behind-the-scenes look at the hosts getting in their costumes and how was Tori able to stay still in the makeup chair. Plus, we've got a Halloween queen. Elvira is going to be here live, and we cannot wait to talk with her next.
In the weeks leading up to the spookiest night of the year, many local news reporters and police departments warned parents about people potentially tampering with their kids' Halloween candy. And that left parents wondering what could end up in their kids' trick-or-treat bag. From razor blades to needles and even marijuana-laced candy. This year, rainbow fentanyl is the new scare. But is there any truth to these claims? Let's verify. Are legitimate reports of contaminated Halloween candy common? Our sources include 4 police departments, a criminal justice professor, and the National Confectioners Association. The National Confectioners Association ran a Halloween candy hotline from 1982 to 2012 for police and poison control centers to report contaminated candy in the U.S. In an email to Verify, an NCA spokesperson confirmed they no longer track these reports, but, quote, agree anecdotally that these are typically isolated, rare, false reports and/or hoaxes, unquote. Joel Best, a sociology and criminal justice professor at the University of Delaware, has researched reports of Halloween candy tampering in the U.S. dating back to the 1950s.
I can't find any evidence that any child has ever been killed or seriously hurt by a contaminated treat picked up in the course of trick-or-treating.
The Verify team reached out to several police departments across the country that had previously received reports of potentially contaminated Halloween candy in the last decade. Last year, the Ben Salem Police Department in Pennsylvania confiscated 50 marijuana-laced edibles from a man that intended to sell them within the state. The edibles mimicked popular snack brands. According to Frederick Herron, director of public safety for the Ben Salem Police Department, the incident was not connected to Halloween and confirmed his department hasn't received any reports of contaminated candy being given to children in the past. In 2015, police in Winchester, Indiana, received reports about a razor blade found in a candy bar. That same year, needles were reportedly found in Halloween candy in Blackwood, New Jersey. According to local police, both reports were determined to be hoaxes. There are some legitimate claims out there. According to the Waterbury Police Department in Connecticut, back in 2019, a man was arrested after parents found razor blades at the bottom of their kids' trick-or-treat bags. Police confirmed the children were not injured or hurt. Waterbury PD says it is not aware of any incidents prior or since that incident occurred. So we can verify that no, legitimate reports of contaminated Halloween candy are not common. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till.
'Tis the season to be spooky, and welcome back to DBL's very special Halloween episode. I'm Stephanie Jones, and I flew in from London on my broom today to be here. However, we've got Pete Davidson that I want to check in with. Are you still single, or did you manage to meet someone during the break?
That depends if you're still taken. Okay, all right. She became an overnight success by channeling her inner vixen and cloaking her newfound persona with a ghoulish charm. Back in 1981, you know her best as the mistress of the dark, the hostess of horror, the queen of Halloween. It's Elvira, of course. Now we're chatting with the woman behind the character, Cassandra Peterson. Welcome back to DBL. We love you, Cassandra.
Good to see you. Thank you. It's great to be here. I decided this Halloween I was going to go as a little old blue-haired lady since I just turned 71.
Wow. Dang, you did
good.
what? Yeah, she looks good.
It looks good, Cassandra. Unlike me. So, Cassandra, we heard you actually lived in a haunted house for a little while. So what's the creepiest or spookiest thing that's ever happened to you while living there?
Oh, so many crazy things happened in that house. First of all, I saw people walking around.
What?
I saw a nurse that came to my bedside and said she was going to take my husband away. I wish she would have, but she didn't. And a lot of just weird things, spooky footsteps up and down the stairs at night, and things moving, doors slamming. 5 years of that. Wow. It was incredible.
You hung in there.
Yeah. I'm like, are you mortal? Because you said you were how old?
71.
You look great. You look unbelievable.
Okay, all right. Okay, child. Now, many people might not know, but in your memoir, you actually talk about how you were a 17-year-old showgirl in Vegas. So did this experience take away your youth? Because I would imagine.
Well, let's just say I grew up real fast. I would say that Vegas is really not any place for a 17-year-old girl to be, I don't think. But I had a lot of great experiences and everything, but I think I did go from 17 to 30 in about 1 year.
Wow.
Well, Fauci here. No, I'm just kidding. Have you, good to see you. Have you always had a liking for like the darker parts of life? And what do Cassandra and Elvira, do they have anything in common, or are you guys opposites?
Well, I always have liked the spooky, the weird, the bizarre. Ever since I was a tiny kid, when I was about 8, I saw a horror film, and that was it. I was hooked on horror all my life. And what was the other part of the question?
Oh, do you and Elvira have anything in common, or are you all opposites?
We are pretty opposite. I finally figured out that Elvira is actually me as a teenager. She's a loudmouth. She doesn't take any crap. She thinks she knows it all. So yeah, that's about the only thing we have in common. Well, we have a couple of things in common, but I won't go there.
I like it. Daytime TV. Okay, so there are so many great stories in yours, Cruelly, like how you chased rock stars from Jimmy Page to Jimi Hendrix, and how Elvis Presley changed your life. So what did you discover about these desirable men?
Whoa, about meeting desirable men. You just have to chase them. You just have to go where they are, find them, and hunt them down.
So
pretty much it.
Your memoir, Yours Cruelly, is now in paperback in 3 different covers. Sam had one, I have another one. So which is your favorite, and how did you get to do 3 covers?
That's so cool.
Well, first of all, I had my fans pick the covers. So we put up a bunch of photos online, and my fans picked out the 2 covers. Then the third one, because I have 7 Funko Pops out there, we put a Funko Pop cover for the collectors out there.
That's
I love Funko Pops.
awesome. Now, I know you got to run, but before we let you go, we know that Halloween, it has to be your busiest working day of the year. But what would your Halloween look like if you didn't have to work? It was just you.
Well, let's see. First of all, I would put on something comfortable, like a muumuu, flip-flops. Then I would lay on the couch and eat chocolates. So pretty much that would be it. That would be my ideal Halloween.
That sounds like a good Halloween.
Or any day, actually. Yes.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. We're huge fans. DBL Nation, Cassandra's memoir, Yours Cruelly, Elvira, is a New York Times bestseller, out now wherever books are sold. Make sure you get one of these 3 beautiful paperbacks. Thank you, Cassandra. Happy Halloween.
See you
Happy
Thank you, guys. Happy Halloween.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to DBL. I'm Stephanie Jones, the head witch in charge today, and it took a lot to get our host into character, so let's take a little look behind the scenes at all the mayhem.
Ready to play Ellen?
I'm halfway there.
There you go. You got the moves. You ready to come out, kick it a little bit?
You ready to get jiggy with it?
That's not the will I'm playing today. We got a lot to talk about.
All right.
My favorite part of Jeff as Ellen is that Jeff is gonna have to dance, and Jeff doesn't like to do anything that's fun.
Tori doesn't think I'm gonna dance? I'm gonna dance circles around Tori.
It's a good preview. That's enough.
So in case you don't get this, I know it's surprising, but I don't wake up like this, so it takes tools from a tool belt. They're doing a full facial head and chest prosthetic, and in order for me to feel comfortable doing this, DeRay had me wearing a face mask, a ski mask, to get used to that being on my face a lot, and I definitely learned to ski and rob some banks with the...
Tori was born to be Fauci, okay? She has been practicing the voice for a number of years now.
The bleach, drinking the bleach. Don't do it.
I'm most excited about something that I'm not allowed to say on daytime television, but maybe you'll be able to somehow feel my energy.
I'm getting ready to be a man. I'm quite excited.
I'm ready to be a woman. I think I've been ready for this moment. Any tips?
Let's see.
When should I start complaining?
Yeah, Sam's a man. Did Sam's man save the world? I don't think. I did. Fauci.
I can't wait to get the tattoos. Are you kidding me?
Oh, Sam will definitely nail Pete Davidson. She was born to nail Pete Davidson.
Okay.
I told Al he should not be Will Smith. I'm sorry.
I am just putting this on the record now. There'll be no slapping of any kind. Nah.
Al can slap me. Al's not gonna slap anyone, but Al's costume is gonna slap.
Am I nervous? Yeah. Have you ever tried to play an icon? Because that's what I'm trying to do.
You were good with bangs.
There. That's right. Is that it? Or is that a gang sign?
I'm ready to get my Beyonce on. Oh my gosh, Beyonce is Beyonce. Like, who tries to be that costume? That's ridiculous.
Lindsay, don't let anybody break your soul, girl.
Ooh, heavy lies the crown, Lindsay.
Now, seriously, that is amazing. You guys, tell us what the process was like getting ready.
Tori, yours was the most expensive.
It's really amazing. I want expensive.
I was like, oh my God.
Cost a lot. Todd, I want to thank so much. He individually made every piece of this prosthetic and then painted it on me and really did a nice job to copy the photos and the essence. Even the ears and the eyebrows were done.
How much time were we talking about in the chair?
A good, like, what was it, Todd, 2 hours?
Well, you were there. So
An hour?
You've been dressed like Dr. Fauci since like 9 a.m.
It's been a long day, okay? It's been a long day.
Tori walked by me, and I just go, hey, how you doing? I thought she was like someone like setting this up. I didn't even know it was Tori.
And Lindsay, do you feel like Beyonce?
Ooh, good.
That's a lot. I mean, I feel good, but I feel like Beyonce's album, she said it came out at a time when people were just like, I don't know how I can explain how last year was or 2 years ago. And so to be in that moment where you're just celebrating yourself, I just had a baby. I don't care how my body looks. This is the body you're going to get. It is what it is.
Boys and girls, there's a lot more fun to be had in this special Halloween episode of DBL, so don't go away.
We recently talked about the top scary movies of all time ranked by experts. Paranormal Activity was ranked 3rd. Halloween 2nd, and sitting at number 1, of course, The Exorcist. Joining us now, the star of the movie. Please welcome Golden Globe winner, Academy Award winner, Linda.
You've been in over 50 films, including the many groundbreaking television movies. But when you're making scary films, it's intense and a lot of work, I would imagine. How does that work out for you?
I think a lot of people don't realize how much goes into making films. So if it's a scary film, you have to really map it out, and everybody is on the same page. I'm going to let him go. He wants to go get a cookie. Can you blame him? It's Halloween. Trick or treat.
That's right.
So there's so much that goes into it to bring the scare. So not only is all the filming and the angles and the actors working together, and the ghoul and the blood and everything is all fake, but then you add the music and all of the tense atmosphere and the editing, and that's when it comes together. And it's meant, I mean, we're here to scare you.
Let's talk about The Exorcist, because the book was written and then it was really hard to get the movie made. Tell us about this.
Yes. So with The Exorcist, I was 13 years old. I planned to be a veterinarian, and so I put, Mom had me put the money went into the bank. I was going to go to Cornell, which is on the East Coast. I'm from Connecticut originally, and the movie came along. I'd been doing modeling, commercials, and so on, and a couple little movies, nothing major. I wanted to be in Lassie. I wanted to be in Flipper, and my dad was like, no. So the book, you know, back then, whether it was The Godfather or some of these novels, they were massive around the world. And so we knew the book, but not, of course I hadn't read it. I was 13. Interviewed for it, got the job, and about, you know, a year later, we're working on the movie. It was so intense and so difficult, and everything is so crafted in order to bring on that fear. But as an adult, I got to talk to Bill Blatty a lot. And he said, look, I wanted to do something really scary. My agency was like, no, Bill, you're a comedy writer. And so he knew all these stories. He put them together and he said, I set out to make the scariest book and movie of all time, and I think he succeeded.
That's amazing.
It's not really a true story, but it's lots of different facts that were sort of, you know, in the closet, so to speak, with the Catholic Church. I was raised Protestant, not Catholic, so it didn't affect me in the same way, and it was a really hard, intense movie to make. Horror films are really hard to make.
Welcome back. Millions of kids across the country will be trick-or-treating this year, which means you'll need to be on high alert while driving. That's today's Auto Alert, sponsored by Ox Car Care. Studies show there are about 40% more pedestrian fatalities on Halloween. That can be prevented by following these safe driving tips. Okay? Prime trick-or-treating hours are 5 to 9 p.m. Make sure your headlights are on the whole time, even before the sun sets. This way, kids will see your car more easily. And be sure to use your hazard lights when you stop the car to let people out so others know you're parked. You also need to drive very slowly while passing parked cars. Kids will be jumping in and out of those cars while trick-or-treating, of course. Ox Car Care, dedicated to providing you with an amazing auto protection plan experience that works with your budget. If you're looking for better car care, give them a call at 1-800-690-7547. And we are at the end of our special Halloween episode. What? Yeah. So we had so much fun being everybody. What's wrong with you?
Me? Nothing.
Why are you staring at me?
I was
because
just
you're talking.
I think because she's so in character, it feels like you're almost more comfortable as Pete.
Yeah.
Seriously, you are very comfortable as Pete.
I like being a man. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Steph, are you?
It's scary how much it suits you, Sam. You do look hot.
Who likes their outfit more, Sam or Tori?
It's
Tori's been sitting like this the whole time. The whole week she's been sitting like this.
I gotta be honest with you. I've hit a little bit of a fouch slouch. I gotta get a coffee.
You were napping earlier.
I was napping a little bit.
Hey, Alan, you wanna dance?
Dance us out.
Dance us out?
Dance us out. Yes. That's right, Ellen.
Happy Halloween, guys. We will see you tomorrow, the same time, the same place.
Sonic, naughty, funky, fresh, with my body so